Hi again then guys, and welcome to another speed build for Forza Horizon 3 in particular, and this time we're tuning up a slightly older generation, but still not old by any means, Extreme Track Day Special from Ferrari, the 360 Challenge Stradale. Now this car doesn't have as much power as some of the other exotics, it doesn't have that 1500 horsepower engine, but what it does have is a 1200 horsepower V10. And the 360 challenge on any Forza game that it's featured on is always extremely quick. So that bodes pretty well for what this car should be capable of. Now I would, as you can see, recommend having all-wheel drive. You don't necessarily have to. Some people may be opposed to that, so if you don't want to have it, just don't fit it basically. And as far as the aspiration, of course, you want the twin turbo. For the rest of it, you guys know the drill. Lower that weight, increase the power, and basically fit everything to the car with race in the title. Gearbox, diff, all that kind of stuff. Now, as far as the tuning, to unlock more, in particular of that top-end potential, but of course also acceleration as well, you can see from the benchmark, you're running good numbers. 2.3 to 60, 4.3 to 100, and a fraction under 270 flat out. That is strong performance. For the gearbox, I would recommend a final drive of 3.13, then individual gears of 2.9, 1.99, 1.5, 1.18, 0.96 and 0.8. Then for alignment we've got neutral, camber and toe. I've opted for 1 degree of caster. That won't necessarily work for everyone, that's a bit looser on the steering, so if you want to take it higher, that's perfectly fine. As far as anti-roll, we've just rounded them off to 26 and 25, springs on 75 and 122. I've opted, as you can see, for the highest ride height. It's still not that high, and I've mainly done it for the looks because I like the way the car looks with a slightly higher ride height. If you want to lower it though, that's absolutely fine. It doesn't really adversely affect the car. In fact, technically it benefits it because you lower the centre of gravity. Just don't expect to see a massive jump in performance from doing that. As far as dampers, we've got those on 8, 11, 4 and 5. Aero doesn't apply. And for the diff, we've got 100% on acceleration, as we usually do, and then 0% on decel. But as I always say, feel free to change those around, either just for the sake of it to try something new, or, of course, for those of you who already know what works better for you, by all means, go with that. Then as far as the centre split, I've opted for 80%, so it's a fairly tail-happy design, fairly tail-happy tune, but with that 20% going to the front, you get the full benefit of that extra front traction, off the line in particular, but also of course off-road. Having a 1500 horsepower rear-wheel drive Ferrari is a considerably different animal to having a 1500 horsepower all-wheel drive Ferrari, especially once you get on the dirt or in the rain, or any of those situations which you wouldn't typically want to take a car like that in. Now this tune is on my storefront, so you can use the keywords down in the video description if you want to find it quickly and easily, but now let's take it out on the street to see what kind of performance it actually gives you. Now I would say in particular there are 2 big advantages that a vehicle like the Challenge Stradale offers, and they're both similar advantages to the Lamborghini Gallardo, and they are that the price is much lower than a high-end ultra exotic like a 599 or an Enzo or an F40 or an F50, and that makes them pretty much automatically better value because you're getting great performance for a much lower price. The second advantage is that, like the Gallardo, they are physically smaller and more compact than something like an Enzo or an Aventador, which is a very big vehicle, and as such the manoeuvrability that you get with a vehicle like a 360 or a Gallardo can oftentimes be better, and this car definitely demonstrates that. As far as performance, it's phenomenal. It flies up way above 250 easily, gets up to that top speed in no time, and it's a great all-round vehicle. So if you decide to use this tune, I hope you have a lot of fun with it, and check out plenty more on the channel of course. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.